Now, in addition to go ahead and typing in the first couple of letters to bring up the function here, let me go ahead and choose the next cell down below and use the sum function to add up this range here. But instead of typing it in, remember when you type it in equals SUM, well, in any case, the first letter, you see the FX. The FX is also up here, and you can insert the function by clicking on the button up there if you'd like. Let me go ahead and hit the escape key a couple of times so I can get back out. And why would you want to do that? Well, when you click on the insert function button, you get a little bit more information, a little bit more details that may be helpful when it comes to figuring out a function and knowing what to place inside each of the fields. For example, click on Insert Function. There's the window. You can go ahead and search for a function by typing it in and then clicking Go. Or with most recently used selected, you can look down below and see if it's something that's been recently used, like the sum function, and then get a synopsis about it. Adds up all the numbers in a range of cells. You can add up one range, two ranges, three ranges, as many as you'd like. Or you can click on the drop-down arrow and see if it's in one of the categories. Is it in financial, date and time? In any case, you can select all and bypass that. And it's sorted alphabetically, so the A's all the way down to the S's. There it is. In fact, let's just go ahead and scroll back up and let's just type it in. Let's delete that, type in sum, and click Go right there. So once you have it, select it, click Okie dokie, and it opens up the function's arguments, which gives you a little bit more information and shows you a little bit more detail, especially if you're working from one part of the screen but trying to add up cells in another part that you can't see right here. So instead of, the range over to the left-hand side, maybe it's in column AA. And in fact, if you look at this, the range that it pulls up by default is the H column. Oh, that's kind of kooky. I don't want to add up the range up above. And the reason why Excel is doing that because it is looking at adjacent cells. It looks like we got some adjacent cells here. I'll just quickly latch onto these guys. And we're like, no, we don't want to do that. So instead, you can either go ahead and type in the range here if you want. And that would be, of course, C9 colon, which again means through, F9. You can do lowercase, that's fine. And when you're done typing, a couple of things happen. First of all, it shows you the numbers for each cell here, or as many as it can fit. You can compare 210.34, 210.34, so that way, if you're in one part of the worksheet and you're summing up a range that you're typing in some cell range that you can't see within the screen there, and you see a bunch of numbers that you're not familiar with, at least that's a clue that maybe you got the wrong range. In any case, you get some of the samples there within the range to compare or look at, and then down below it gives you the total and the formula result 901.03. That's good to know because if the result comes back and you're like, that's not what I expected, then you want to take a look at the range you have selected, the data that's coming into the function. If it's garbage in and it's garbage out, just make sure you get the correct range and the correct data so you can get the formula result that you're looking for. You can do it that way and just click OK, or let me go ahead and delete it. These little boxes here are collapsible. They're known as the collapsible dialog box buttons. When you click on it, it collapses the screen so you can click and drag the title bar, move the window, not the screen, out of the way. Or you can go ahead and click and drag to select the range, and then go ahead and click on it to expand it, and then click and drag it up so we can see it. Click for the next range, number 2, select another range. You can also hit the Enter key on the keyboard to expand it. You can keep going on and on and on, but we'll just keep it for the first range here, and click Okie dokie, and there we go. Let's go to the next one. And there's not only the function button here that you can click on, but you can also go to the Formulas tab. There's Insert Function. And also, well, there's the Auto Sum. It's the sum function that will quickly sum up. In fact, you can see in the pop-up down below, it is the sum function. Let me click on the drop-down arrow. There's more functions, and it pulls up the same window. But let's take a look at the Auto Sum, though. If you click on that, automatically it inserts the function, which is really fast. But then again, it's doing its thing here, trying to find a pattern, saying, oh, I got adjacent cells. Let me select the range up above. And you're like, no. All you have to do is go ahead and click and drag to select another range, hit Enter, and sweet. I mean, that was really fast. If you're on the Formulas tab, go ahead and click into the cell, click Auto Sum, click and drag, hit Enter. I think that's the fastest way when it comes to adding up a range of cells by using that feature. How about the average? Go ahead and click in the average cell for the employee ID, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, and then click on the Auto Sum drop-down arrow. We also got the Auto Average, and then go ahead and click and drag, hit Enter, and then copy and paste that to the rest of the cells so we don't have to keep doing that over and over again. And as you recall, the fastest way to copy and paste is by using the autofill handle. Hover over the bottom right hand corner until you see the black cross, click and drag, it automatically copies and pastes and fills in the formula up above to the cells down below, but going by a pattern. So it says, okay, this formula in the next row is going to be just that, the next row, so it's not looking at row 7 anymore, but row 8. And you can see up here in the formula bar, when I use the up and down arrow keys to go up, row 7, down to row 8, 9, the columns are the same, but it's the rows that are updating.